The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that, if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
Hey kids, welcome back to Roto Talk.
Hello and welcome back, my good friends out there in the world. Hopefully everybody is alive and well and not building a bomb shelter yet. Anyhow, it is Friday, thankfully, and it's been a hell of a week. It's been really rainy, which is good. Not really heavy rain, just enough to stop you from having any fun. But up here in northern Indiana, we need it. Water's getting a little bit low. It's that time of year, but not too bad. So, again, haven't had a lot of new stuff to build this year. This has been probably the most neutral boat summer I have had in, oh my gosh, 5 or 6, 7 years. When it comes to new builds or doing anything fucking interesting. Built a boat for my friend that's in Japan. He's in the service. Shout out to you, Stefan. And I still haven't sent it to him yet. I need to get a quote on all the shipping and whatnot. And that was a ML Boatworks Circus. I did not do that on video just because I didn't feel that I was, not that I'm an authority anyway, but it's kind of a new one for me. I've never cut skins, top and bottom skins from scratch before, so I didn't really want to mislead anybody. You got people like M5 and stuff that are far better at that kind of thing than I probably am. Let's see, what else? I built the fiberglass little Freddy 4S little thing I built, which I've only run once, and it ran kind of like crap. I repropped it, put a new turn fin on, haven't tested it since. You know me in electric, whatever. So I decided I'm going to do, it's been kind of slow. Nobody's coming out with new builds. We're still waiting on the ZippKits gas outrigger. I'm going to build one of those. I do have the ZippKits prototype rigger that Joe gave me 2 years ago to build. And he asked me not to show it on social media, which this is the only social media I really do. This and Instagram. And I never have. It's the prototype. It's the newer Envy, ZippKits Envy, and I love it. But when his new one, the real release, comes out, I'm going to ditch mine and build the new release. But that has not reared its head yet. So yeah, just been kind of not a hell of a lot. The outboard. I did order the parts to fix that engine. The engine wasn't blown on the G48, but I did over-abuse it. I got it too hot. It lost some compression. You could tell. It was just, it run a tugboat pretty good. And the guys in my group, in my Discord group, said, oh yeah, sorry that happened, Jay. And I'm like, for one thing, it was my own fault, because I'm the dumbass kept revving it, knowing there was something wrong. And, it needed, I'm putting a new top end on it for $75. Ain't breaking my heart. I'll probably even do a video on it, even though I've done rebuild videos before. What the hell, nothing better to do. So that brings us to this. Hopefully, I don't know if that stuff's coming tomorrow. I doubt it. Probably Monday, the gizmo parts to rebuild that G48 engine. And then we're going to finish dialing that baby in, and I think that's going to be a really fun boat. So I decided to start a new mini-series. And I'm going to try to be diligent about this, because I know I'll go for like a month with no videos, and I'll do 5 in a row. And I'll go a month. I'm going to try to do this at least once a week, if not more than that. We're going to call it the ChUCk and ChAt. So what that means is we're going to get a boat ready. I'm going to ramble on, which some people like, some people don't, about that particular boat. Maybe some stuff before up here in the shop, and then when we get down the water, use a hat cam. I'm going to do some running. And just talk about that boat, talk about that style of hull, what it means to me. I'm not an authority, but sit there and say, okay, this is the V hull cracker box, the Vbox. It runs really, and just talk about it while we're driving. Then people can, we'll call it the ChUCk and ChAt. I think it might be kind of fun. And I'll do the cat. We got quite a few episodes we can do. We got flat bottom crackers, we got hydros, we got wood skiffs, different skiffs, thunderboats, outboards. More thunderboats, cats. So, take us through the summer anyway until something fun happens. And that way, because people always ask, even if they've watched the videos a long time ago, oh yeah, hey, what do you think about the difference between a V bottom, an A box, and a V box, this, that, and whatever. So that's what we're gonna do, the ChUCk and chat. Now today the wind is coming out of the west, kind of windy. It's sporadic, so I'll probably flip something. We're gonna do the V-Box. You guys have seen me drive the old Lego many times, okay? This I built right around COVID. It's an old boat. Probably the longest I've ever had a cracker, to be quite honest. I'm notorious for destroying crackers, as we all know. But either way, I still have three. I still have three. Only two are loaded with running hardware. It's about time for a new Lego. This one's starting to show some wear, but it runs well. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some things of this boat. So we all know the V-Box. There's two cracker box style of boats from ZippKits only, to my knowledge. There's a V-Box, which is what this is, and there's the A-Box, which is a real cracker box, okay? So the Nintendo boat, for those of you that are new, this is the Nintendo cracker, okay? And it's a flat bottom, the way it's supposed to be. The Lego, is a V-Box, okay? That's the model, and it literally is a wide V-hull boat. That one, the flat bottom, runs a strut. The V-Box runs a stinger. I run a different prop. I actually run like a hydro prop on mine. It works pretty well. I use one turn fin on the right only. I do not use one on the left. If you're just a sport runner and want to piss around, you're perfectly fine to put one on the left. I think the Nintendo one, I did put a mount on the left, so I can put one on there, but I don't. Helps you turn left easier. Obviously, this one's got a beat-up old rudder on it that needs replaced. The boat itself's it's just seen better days. It's still in good shape, but we might build a new Lego. Let's see. We do use the leveling fins, the trim tabs, I should say. I have the inners down just a touch, very tiny bit, and I believe these outers are above. Yeah, they're above. I don't use trim tabs a whole lot on the V-Box. You don't really need them, but I still use them. This is heat tape, fiberglass wrap, also known as header wrap. I used to use when I rebuilt motorcycles. I used to use this stuff all the time. Keeps your legs from burning off, especially on a 69 Triumph Bonneville or my Indian Chief that you can see the fenders right there. I have header wrap on those. I don't usually if you see me put header wrap on a boat, for instance, this Blazer Backlash, there's header tape, the exact same header tape on this one. No header tape on this Backlash, right? Let me fix that. Those are for looks. Honestly. This one's really not. This one, the grab handle's here. There's a handle in these ZippKits crackers right there. And that is to keep my skin from burning off of my fingers. Comes in handy. This particular boat, the V-Box, has no class for racing, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a race guy. But to my knowledge, this is an illegal boat. This is a sport boat only. You don't race these. Flat bottoms, you race. Now, flat bottom cracker box has to be a 26cc. It cannot be a 30, as far as I know. I think the drivers have to be scale, like real, like mine are not. Obviously, I got Mario and Lego men driving mine. There's all sorts of rules on there. This one's running a 30cc Zenoa stock. Nothing fancy about this. 1048 carb. Direct drive throttle linkage. Gas, your typical. This is what I run in gas. Oh, disconnected. It broke. We must fix. Hang on. Now, with most of my crackers, I use hood pins for an RC car. And that's how I keep on my, and I put some flotation on the bottom. This thing weighs a ton. You would never want to race with this. All this 3D print and this, yeah, it's a beast. It's more for looks. I don't race anyway, who gives a damn? So, let's see, what are we doing? Oh yeah. My buckle broke. It is just 3D printed crapola. They do break, they're not perfect. Alright, so you guys have seen me use these 3D printed belt buckles. They're like a backpack buckle is what you remind you of, but this is what I use to hold bags in, fuel bags in. All I don't use magnets. You can. Nothing wrong with that. I think ZippKits sells a magnet set you can use for that. And again, this is just a Chuck and Duck race or video. A lot of talking and just some fun. Prep work. Okay, now I put gas in this yesterday, thinking I was going to run, but then my children came home and had different ideas. And you can see I had this thing airless yesterday. Now there's a big old air bubble. Air bubbles are bad in gas boats with bags, because if it goes like this and the air bubble gets in there, it's going to kill your engine. That is why when I can, I mount my fuel bags at an angle like this. That way the air bubble is always at the back. And now if this boat's planing up, you see it will still should be okay. Now to get that out, we can burp it. In the case of a fuel bag, it's real easy to do. I literally just go like that and push out some gas. Oh shit, getting it all over the place. It's alright, it's Friday. I do not use a Y filler or anything when it's a cracker box like this. It's so easy to get access to that. Hang on, let me tell. It's so easy to get access to the carb that I don't fool around with Y splitters. So yeah, I just unplug and plug. And that's about it. So with every cracker I build and I've said this before, but for those of you that are new, I build a sport back, like a hatchback, and a what they call those, a hatchback and a fastback, or whatever they call those on cars. What I mean by that is, here's my fancy look, all the kids think I'm cool back end, and then I've got the one that I actually usually run on in the water. I build this, you can see this is not centered, it's kind of a chunked out little piece of crap here, out of the scrap wood of the kit. This is not part of the kit. I actually build a second one. So what I do is I take the piece of scrap, I take the real one, and I trace it out, cut and sand it, and I make a spare. There's plenty of extra wood in the kit to build a spare hatch. So this one, like if the weather's real calm, and there's no wind, and I know I'm probably not going to flip, I might run with these guys on there. I have done it. But these don't take 50-mile-an-hour wrecks too well. I mean, they do. But this guy, one of these guys got decapitated once, and I had to fix his head. And I think this guy lost his claw. Actually, yeah, he did. He lost his hand. That's why it's a claw. I forgot. A pirate claw. So I usually run it with this. That and that other one's just a lot of weight. So I make a fastback. That's what I call the fastback, or if you will, the quote-unquote racing. You want to go fast, a lot less weight, a lot more aerodynamic. You're not going to rip anything apart when you wipe out. Things like that. I did the same thing for the Nintendo. The Nintendo one, I mean, those characters, like a wedding cake, man. You spend a lot of time 3D printing and painting and airbrushing this stuff. I mean, it's for fun. Little kids come over, my grandson or my cousin's kids, they come over to my garage, my shop, and they see these cool boats. They're like, oh, that's neat, it's Nintendo. It's fun, you know, but when it comes down to actually running them on water, nah. So, we are done. What I'll do with a boat like this, I did grease the shaft yesterday, put some gas in her. Usually what I do on my water, and I have a unique situation, right? We all know this is my workshop. I walk down the hill, I chuck a boat, and I'm done. Or I take the tractor with the trailer down, and I do it that way. Okay? But with crackers, sometimes I'll warm them up in the garage, and I'll literally just carry it down the hill, start it up, and throw it in, and come back. You know, whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. If I do that, if I have a pull start on them, a lot of times I'll just warm them up right here in the shop. I'll just spin them up here. See, where's my throttle set at? Yep. And that gets the engine primed and warm. Then when I go down to the water, all I gotta do is done, right? So I'll meet you down at the water. We'll chuck this thing and have a chat. Today I'm going to take the tractor down because I had to charge the battery to the rescue boat, the rowboat, and I'm too lazy to bring that fucking battery down the hill by myself because that is a steep hill. It doesn't look like it in the videos, but trust me. So I know I live in a really, really unique situation. Not too many people that watch my channel probably live on water this close. Maybe you do. But most of you aren't bringing your boat to the water on a tractor with a trailer. I have an RC boat trailer. I used to do, but for those of you that do, if there's one, I used to use bungee cords, you know, and I'd bungee it, but you know, it leaves marks on the boat, doesn't always stay, and I'm going down a 40-degree gradient, so shit can slip, right? So what I ended up doing is my boat stand, there's my tools, rescue boat battery, this is my crap towel that I always keep on here for, it's wet right now, my radio's in there. I actually take the saran wrap and I wrap these pads. A, it keeps the pads on, and B, it adds a lot of stiction, like it doesn't move. And then instead of using bungee cords, I literally saran wrap the boat to the stand. I know that sounds silly, but it works really, really well. Watch. It's cheap. This stuff costs like 3 cents a ton. And for my situation, if you're going on flat land, bungee cord's going to be fine. And this thing doesn't have to be perfect. It's like 3 wraps, and it'll be fine. You do this all the time. Haven't had it fall off trailer yet. Now, the only boat I don't bring down in the trailer, and like I said, a lot of times at nighttime, like I want to go out and just get a good run in before dinner. See that? I ain't going nowhere. If I just want to get a run in before dinner, this particular boat, crackers, even a hydro, I might just carry down, chuck it in. I don't do the outboard like this, the big G48, just because I don't like the engine bouncing around on the back. So that one I actually do carry down. I drive the tractor down there first, come up the hill, get the G48, bring it back down. Same thing with, well, skiffs. I don't carry those. Those are so awkward to carry. So we're going to go down and we're going to chuck and duck this boat, have a little bit of fun. Be right back. So I figure you're bored. We're going to take you on a trip. There's our boat. There's the house. Tennis court. So you can see it looks like a cliff you're going to go off. And again, doesn't look that steep in the videos. Pretty bad though. Got to have your roto twister. Whoa, drinking and driving. Boat's perfectly fine. All right. And I'm going to go to the neighbor's pier. She's only here like every other weekend, and she lets me do whatever I want on her pier. So I don't feel like taking my shoes off and getting all sandy. So we're just gonna drive. So there's the house. The new deck that's missing one new board. For those of you in my boat group, you know that I had the Amish redo the deck. Boys can build. So you can see there's some wind. So let's go over to the neighbor's pier. And we're going to keep it from these buoys here to those buoys over there, okay? Chuck it right off the pier. Now you can see, I could just chuck it off the sand, but I'm going to chuck it off the pier because I like living on the edge. I just don't feel like taking my shoes off. Water's gotten really, really low. Really low, you can see. Still okay, but yeah, don't like it when it's that low. So, what we're going to do now, this stuff tears really, really easy, this saran wrap. See, it's like boom, done. Takes longer to put it on there. It only takes a second, not much longer than a bungee cord. We warmed this up in the shop, so it should be nice and toasty. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it in. All right, here we go. Make sure it's on. Do a check. Okay, if you're new to the game, we're gonna give this. Okay, if you're new to the game, check your fail-safe, turn off your radio, make sure that kills. Before you go chucking it in, make sure your rudder's going the right direction. never. That's it. Throw it over there. Now the wind is coming from that way, so I'm not going to go full speed. These things, mine lifts real easy. I have mine running really, really dry. Dry meaning the hull's out of the water. There we go. My steering EPA could come up. Doesn't sound like it's on the pipe. I'm making really wide turns. That's not healthy. My EPA on my steering is really... need to bring it in, but I don't feel like bringing it in. Just be careful. With these Vboxes, or any of the crackers, you can goose them on a turn. If you're careful, they'll scoot across around the turn. Watch. We'll get into the turn. No, I'll goose it. But my EPA, which is your endpoint adjustment on the rudder, is only set to like 25, and it should be probably about 40. And I'm turning really wide, like that's cranked. There's a certain skill to it. Usually I have my crackers turning sharper than this. Good running boat. This has always been a really good haul. I could probably lean out the motor a little bit more too, but it's a cracker. It's not a hydroplane. I'm not trying to hit 90. Trying not to kill any buoys. And they do turn left. Let's bring it over here and I'll show you. And again, for you new guys, I'm just gonna let it idle, okay? That my idles are fast. You can see the water coming out of the port. This is a single port cracker, which is something I don't usually do. I usually have the 2 input, 2 output. This is a single. I think it's a Speedmaster rudder that I got off of some old boat that I don't, this isn't a ZippKits rudder, which is what I usually run. ZippKits is the best. So let's bring it over here. Let's do some left turns. Give you now. This is with no turn fin, or yeah, no turn fin on the back for the left. I'll just bring it out in front of us here. Do a figure 8. I'll do a left turn. See, it wants to go. Oh my gosh! Without a turn fin though, it just doesn't grab. And if I would have had the gas on there, it would have flipped. So yeah, my engine could be a touch leaner because I know this hull, it's not running at full speed, but it's pretty close. Awesome run. And I know it's not running that fast, or not to its potential, because usually this boat would flip going into the wind. That's okay. I'm just having fun. All right. Watch, I'll do a left turn. You see it just, the ass end just kicks out. So when people ask me, hey, should I put a left turn fin on? Well, if you want to turn left. Now the flat bottoms, I think, turn left a little bit better than the V's without the turn fin, but not a hell of a lot. Watch, we'll do that again. And what'll happen is that thing will hook when it's in the air. It'll hook because it doesn't have anything. It hooks this way at the side, and it'll catch and flip. I think this is, the Vboxes are my second favorite hull. I've got some pretty nice boats. I've built a lot of really, really cool boats. Hydros, Blazer Marine backlashes, Thunderboats, you name it. My favorite boats to run are the Vbox crackers In this order, Vbox cracker or Vbox from ZippKits. Second one is a skiff, any skiff. And then the Abox cracker, and then probably Thunderbolts after that. Thing makes some pretty good waves. Look at that. Let's bring it in. Woo! So now this is idle for me. I run a fast idle, okay? That way if I want to take my hand off the trigger and do whatever, I don't really have to worry about the boat stalling. You can puddle up, meaning get a little too much gas sitting in the carb. So you don't want to let it like run on that idle too long without some fluctuation in the trigger. Fun boat. I've had this boat forever. The very beginning of 21. It's almost the, what, middle of 24. Okay. There we go. Look at that for docking. You can tell I was raised on a lake. Now, let's take a look. Water was coming out the whole time, which is good because we're having a couple weeds on this lake lately. We need to make sure we're not dying. Don't want to be rebuilding two engines. I love this old cracker until it dies. Look at that. There's not even water in this thing. Look at that. Dry as a fucking bone. You tell me that's not a good cracker design. Thank you, Uncle Joe, for being the maniac tester you are. Because the ZippKits Vbox cracker, by far one of the most fun boats you will ever drive in your life. They handle well, they go faster than an Abox, the flat bottom one. They're just stable. I run mine really, really dry, meaning the hull's out of the water. So obviously you get some wind under your ass, it's gonna flip, and I do flip this here and there. But you know what? The Abox flips just as bad. Flat bottom boats, you get wind underneath there, she coming up, son, I'm telling you. So yeah, perfect hull. I love them. They're so much fun. They're an easy build, they're a cheap build, and the most fun you can have in the water without having a girl with you. They're fucking awesome. So that's the Lego Vbox. I hope you had some fun. Great run. Didn't flip. How much gas do we use? Looks like, you guys probably can't see that, almost all the bag. Maybe a little bit less than a third in there. That's fine. You can see I got some more damage on her here and there, but engines, if you can touch it, if you can hold your hand on it for 5 seconds, it's fine, unless you're a real pussy. Okay, so beautiful. I'm gonna wrap it back up, drop off the battery by the rescue boat. Until next time, kids, keep dry side up, build a Vbox, they're fun.